Kitigo mama kegi nabisha bogomane tek tagoshnig. Oi minab me maundo wit ya tagoe. Ogimakanegi kitoing. Kaniga buita going. Misago chinema matchtaing omanoga gigisheb. Oman sogon mima maundo iting. Koete shigo genin. Eoniga bondigo. Shigo mina hako ebines. Minam squatte. Shigo mina no me. Yenibo tachigeni ni. Isuskunamago. Kikinaza migoan. Makwa genin dotem. Miteo gani geni gion dunda bigo. Imitet and shinavegi chibe metet. Shigo soma gani estiging. Ani ba bakiniging. Ege mi shom sinan. Oge mind and win your mind David the ma and the nokiang. Mi so noe gave vindigato kikio onan. Ege me ba vindiget wigi aming an shinabe. Umatap me vindigesh kamagaton. Squanon dago koe vindigesh kamagakin. Mimina oe. Oge makanig niganiga wito about. Gave me no one dago set me up yon goa. Poga gave me on bab sigeat. Bab samon go no gap me bogo seni mangwa. Give me wa kishi tying on no poga nak. Misa oil commissionan gain ama. Kiani jibabi bagin damagoing. Kiani jib soe singewin. Mi teshimagi ani jimama toe tong. Oe nogum. Give me gagi stagozit. Anishinabe. Mi oe segiane snavinike. Nogum me baba kiniging. Me babi digeshkaing samina oe. We mittes in the ming. Oesa. Inigani minan. Misagona koean. Miigwetch kitenem. Atagoshinig. Miigwetch kitenem uma. Bitanakamigizig. Mami no chigonako hopski etatinoen eve kagen tagos. Good morning, everyone, ladies, men, chiefs. I'd like to welcome you all to our community at Notakamegwaning. We say Miigwetch for all of you is coming together here to have our annual fall assembly. Our ceremony here this morning will begin with our grandfather drum. To bring in the staffs, to bring us into that circle. And once that song is complete, once the staffs are here, then our chief's drum, will render the pipe song for all the pipes to be smoking at that time, to smoke with our helpers, our spirit helpers that are with us. And once that song is complete, then we'll ask our grandmother for a grandmother's song to be rendered, our life givers. And once that song is complete, then we will go into our
Gary Allen, we're asked to bring in the staff.
Me babi bagin dama going. O mauki mate we ganenagit. Indagani going. Mina oe. Oge makana gewi na witaba mat. Ukomisinan. Ogoe ge poaga nagbemi on bapsi ge at gewi no. Anishnami na gibojo inen. Kitote miag. Kitatso kanemiag. Kita pinika zoinia se veji goigan shinabetuk. Mina Miigwetch kitigom oma beta takushinig. Enda juyangeni no kamegwani. Anishna ma we ni migagis chigeing migagis tagozing. Ongoe nongo gab me bogoseni mangwa. Chibiwa wita bamigoing. Chibiwa wi so kagoing. Babizinda goizing we. Ngoe wenda beate so hat so kanu enat nishinabe. O etina ke wabanang shawanang nigabi wanang. Yo etina ngani shiname o wenda ne moge kitata nishinabe. Shigote swenda beate goete. Ngoe sege no umache binana stagoing. Ngoe sege no umache binana stagoing. Oege no mawe ni chibija joshkuna mago izing so give me stiging igito ininan gito sichigininan owe wene owe tini ganing tini jinana psek so oege gito ining sichigining amigo besho no ige mama na nen sagijik be metatakana gito komisnan ge na tnishnabe Anishname oe kenege go neta gitamago ingegi no in the matanoking go gitige no. Shigotaso igi mama nange ingi mitativachumogo no me mama na manjurt. Bimiosita it kene josita igot no. Gab me biko kami bitchigen it. Shigotaske no aseman. Ano kachigan wisni ingi miji bogosendang. Miji mami comment. Mina oete ospe mingi tatagana binga nishina oete niobi togo tegi kitatanishinabe. Kewi na oete osami nani ki se at sache benana shkina magoing. Ki no ogishiat zinia ogikino igenia. Mina chigon amagegi no in the mind of Shuingo gitikamik. Goegawa wichia mangita wesi yogi kitatanishinabe mitigonabe oege mishki ke wisinin umishom sapkonani go komisapkonani ge namizie ne matabiat hanishnage nango seman gib me nap somoinda isege nago bejigon oe ogishiat zinia mina oe ne bigat shuimaga kono ezage ganangitisindaming Noege manitozi bin. Umageni noin bautige yang. Mamasna pikiniganan. Misea yat. Ogechibig. Anamibiga noege minisan. Mige instogobejagan no asay magip me napsomongwa. We went so ma. Minachip me. The matzi niking nigani. Anishna minate biskoche iwabanang shawanang. Shawanang nigabi wanang. Nigabi wanang kiwetinang isite biskoche. Minatas kiwetinang wabanang. Age no aso no aseman. Sugotas omageni no indenda nokiang wichia mangwama. Umabautika yag omage winenda juyat. Umage koende jo boy kamegisitanishinabe ni ashing. Mane boitken o manito atgen nagit. Igagimi go nega boit noige we basichiganan. Noige ga wakan ketegen te sabinan. Umage binchi naunim itiga megungeyat. Igo beji go nago ma atoe imeme go seguichi amangwa. Inichigo uma pikone imineske ni maga onje babasekuingoin. Ke indi bachamut miksugeni ni maonje wichi amaga nishinabe. Bimeti bab makko maogitizak ogitibig meaje eskat. mi songo e no ko wene mi ka ki so mango tip mi wa wi so ka go isingsa no ege ki onan no ege apoga ne ge ya wene man sagon tip me ba bizinda go isingsa e je got so mano ko mano ya na ganan wi wasna ganan gi kitatan shinave hani shnami o ma ge me na o ki ge me na onan geta o ge tikamik Oege nazibing, oege beji mi machite ikate, goe. Tene magane nani gagi anini gani at ke na chip mi jo tapini geat, noega giaseman. Missagona oe shigagi stago se ansnage ni mai kokskitoan. Ke ni ga ikoane kokskitoan, sake ginaga metanoe, pemiga nortomotan hijinishnave. Se got so mangan yan ko joskuna mo ve ko gemakwe o gitstakwe agi no se so endaga se atoe oni bi mi agi mi siga no chigeatsa mi segona ekko yan mi ga chitenen
How Bojo getinen Kejivina sik deko akin jagon bik ke makwa dote ni beteo ashna ni Miigwetch o kagi timishit seman dogi maka ni minan oe me pagusendang wene manitoabo gitta shindamag pichik shapi tendago koe nipe ashna mi beba mini going and sogishik unchittago oe kitota pinamin and sogishik mingot ashna oe beba unchiga gishikaing miksha oe manito kap mini going oe jonje baba nani boing miksha oe pichik shapi tendagok ni Miigwetch atash oe manito oe kipe mini going oe ke much going and sogishik kenage go gite nabachetomen piche manitoing oe tash scotch ngani kitki porchege go ban oakensias Gotengshna opimi otapinan ni bikang ke ayatawya ke kagisomen at sokan imayain ke kagisomen oe in kei Jesus nok misagoe itashko gen dikit ke gawin da moinin otta bangi babam betek unchittago wasigan hapatat mikshagi nawin da oe migi nawin da oe nabachitoing manitogi minigona isanigo nino ashe otapinamig we minikweig magashage we kisinji kinoago tamata o kioya sagoe
Aho, bonjour. Et Margaret took. Bonjour, Ninem, and we basically go egg. How Nigal been asking they go. Kieg Ijike, Hasmani cut, Megawani cut, Bijondo, them. He gives in up in the caso and I get 10 days, say, Chicago is going to go. The way game take on. He goes in Karim Bonja, yeah. Ah, Miigwetch tago so gainin, yeah, the pack on the gate way winning or Gimachi got taken gay, the common way winning ma. To the Nakamikizing, Nongam, Kagishigak. Yeah, and the keg in Kabiwaba Jigayan, Kabi win the Mago answer. When the K and Nishnabe, Nishnapachi, when the K, keep a minute gate now, the K. Great to say, go away. Much time we are going to not going gardening books and magain chiga gagis towers it me just get away or get it and we got kit one is it so we in the we much time. So good morning everybody. My Anishinaabe name is Nigana Benes. I'm from Nigiguzimi Nikaning. Bijou, Lynx is my clan. I want to thank the elders for opening us in a good way, the songs that were rendered to carry us through the day, and to open the meeting with the National Assembly. I'd like to start off with Chief Gary Tom Notkamigwani for some opening remarks. Following that, Ogichita, Francis Kavanaugh, and Kakitawani Gazette, Cheyenne Vandermeer. Ahal. Magaman Khan.
Bonjour. Wakian Kottes Nekad, Makon Dotem, Miman Jan Dot coming running, Dogi Makanyo. Kwamana Nishnabem. Miigwetch in Magi Bijay Nongam. Basically, setting ma. Kitchen la main. Anije bak. Zero. Kini gas coming Kenegeo. Nijan Snabe. Teaching a tonic. And I just want to open by saying I want to thank everybody for attending, all the chiefs, elders, the community members, all our visitors. And I want to acknowledge the sacred items, the songs, elders, opening remarks. I was talking to Wajashko Nigam's Ugimakan, one of the songs that was sung this morning. I closed my eyes and I was 8, 9 years old again on the powwow trail. I thought about my grandfathers, Bill Skeed, Doug Skeed, Alex Skeed, Clifford Skeed, with their drum. I remember my father always telling me every time they sang at any powwow, he would always tell me, go dance for your grandfathers. And I would go out and I would dance. that was the first time I felt proud to be a Anishinaabe. You know, being in the circle, listening to the drum beat with the other dancers, the regalia, hearing the jingle dress. You know, that's part of who we are. You know, I quit dancing when I was 15 years old because it wasn't cool anymore for me. Again, you up and then you may go. I was made fun of in high school because I still danced, I still talk my language. And I gave into that. But that never changed how I felt every time I hear the drum beat. It's in here, it's in my heart. You know, I spent the past few weeks reflecting. You know, I lost both my parents, both to complications of diabetes. And yearning to speak with them, to visit with them. So I put tobacco out. Talk to them. And I know they're there. She came out the last 2-3 days, the wind came in. Michko kaya jitni mama. Miigwetch kagi machat kibya de mutsigo. Yi kenimigo. My mom always told me those were the people that passed. They're coming to see me through the movement of the winds. And I truly believe that. You know, as a people, we're very spiritual. And that's one thing I never let go when I was going through that transition of the mainstream society. Well, I never let go of who I was growing up here. I just grew up here. This little bay here it's called Scum Bay. You know, that's where we played all of that. We played hockey in there, ice hockey. That was our first arena. You know, we played there till start 10 in the morning, and we wouldn't go home until it was dark. Then we watched Looney Tunes at 5 o'clock Saturday. But if we were home by 6, we were right away when there's 4 houses here. One of the mothers would be coming with a willow stick. So we all ran home. Oh, she's coming. So we'd all rush home. But we always had fun. And nobody worried about where anybody was. Nowadays, it's just, if you don't hear from anybody, it's like you can't even walk around. It's crazy. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to because I want to bring that spirit back. You know, there's a lot of pride in this community. You know, I spoke at the school last week. We just inaugurated our junior chief and council. That was a very awesome celebration for our youth. You know, they even have a headdress like a Gichita. I said, how do I get one? You know, and that brings so much pride. And we have to see that. You know, we have to celebrate that. You know, every time I think positive. I don't think negative. You know, if somebody has a negative remark, okay, that tells me, okay, that's, okay, we got to work on that. Turn that into a positive. As I spoke to the kids at the school, I said, look at what we have. We have our own ambulance base. We have a police detachment. We have a band office. We have a health center. We have a school. Shawan Dawson, our own child and family service. Our roundhouse. We want to utilize that roundhouse because that was given to us by the Creator. And that's where we need to go back. Utilize, go back there. That's part of our healing journey. I have so much pride for my community. And that's Miigwetch Miigwetch. I didn't hesitate. When I was asked to host, I didn't hesitate. I'm very proud of my community. And I know where we're going. I get so excited about where we're going to go. I get really excited. Everybody in Whitefish knows that when I start rambling. It's because I have a lot of faith in my people, and I know where we're going.
You want to give one to...
And there's always that saying, be careful what you wish for, you might get it. Because you know what? We're going to get it. And Miigwetch is in the way. Let's have good meetings here next 3 days. Miigwetch.
Hello, Miigwetch. I'd like to ask Okichita Song Kamiginang for some welcoming remarks.
Miigwetch Don. Miigwetch Chief Gary Tom. Gary's my cousin. We were neighbors when he grew up in Scum Bay, and that's where we reside. And people call me the mayor of Scum Bay. Anyways, when Gary and his friends, cousins, every evening they'd turn over wash tubs, and you'd hear them sing all the time, every evening. And because we resided around Scum Bay, they used to call the boys Makaki Nidiog. They were known as the Frog Boys. Be singing every evening. Anyways, that's our chief, Gary. Miigwetch for your comments. Also, I just want to say Miigwetch to our elders, Howard, Kegin, Isabel. Miigwetch for your kind words, your words of wisdom. Miigwetch for Kajani Metagosig. I was grateful for that. Miigwetch Henge Nagokoya, Kaitapi Minangoa, Poganak. Kaya Noawag Inakovichiganan. Kaya Oya Dewe Ganak, Kaitapi Mangoa. Miigwetch Kewe Naange Nag. Song Kamiginang Digo. Kebeasige Ninig. Ukimas. Kinak. Squattega Aboga. Niso Meteo. Abeting Chibe Meteo. Mishakonikot. Ni Meteo Isoin. Keni Bagwish Moining. Stibel Tagui. Oya. Isagabaz. Nishinabe. Ke oya ni Mitiga Mig. Mabet Kitig. Yigeba Ejitaguyan. Gazagin Gina, Gimatewagan, Nigan is it, the wagon in an oil, Kaitapim, Kitapimicoing Nongum, Miigwetch na Leona, Magi Pindigana hat, or Jokopiting Nongum, Miigwetch up Chendilag. Good morning, everyone. Once again, I am happy to see everyone taking time out of their busy schedules to be here in my home community of North Miigwetch. I'd like to thank Miigwetch, Chief Tom, for offering to host the fall assembly this year. I know that this fall will be very busy for everyone, with several meetings occurring regarding the final settlement agreement. It seems as if we have a meeting every week between now and Christmas to consider. With so much demand on our schedules, I am truly honored that you all took the time to make it here. I believe that our shared dedication to the Anishinaabe Nation and Treaty 3 is one of our greatest strengths. This year's theme, strengthening our sovereignty, and I believe we do that best when we gather together as a nation and discuss these issues that affects us all. When I think about what it means to build our future as a nation, this is only possible when we work together. Whether that is reviving our culture, investing in our shared economy, protecting our environment, or working to address the massive social issues we face, we have to do it together. Today we will hear the updates of all the work that has been undertaken during the past 6 months. With so much going on in every sector, I'd like to personally thank Kakinoatagizut Cheyenne for her assistance in my duties. This was the first time in many years in which I was able to take a few weeks in August and not have to worry about daily issues here at home. Miigwetch Cheyenne, as always, I look forward to speaking with you, speaking with all of you throughout this week and hearing the updates on all the work that our staff are doing. I hope everyone has a very productive week, and I thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here with us. Aho, Miigwetch. Miigwetch.
Miigwetch, Wichita, Kaketoana Guzit, Cheyenne Vandermeer.
Buju, Minogigajeb, Miigwanagabuik, Indigenous Kuchiching and Donji, Namain and Dodem, Gakanawa Tagazid, Indigenous Go. I just want to thank Gary Tom and the community of Neot Kamagwaning for hosting our fall assembly. Acknowledge our elders for opening our fall assembly, our drums and our sacred items. And I just want to acknowledge the group of youth that is sitting back here. Just want to welcome you and acknowledge your presence here at our assembly. It's so important that you guys are here with us. This summer, so since beginning of June, it's been an honor and a privilege to represent our communities as a Treaty 3 nation. I was able to attend quite a few of our powwows throughout the summer in your communities. I just want to say miigwech to the chief and the counselors that invited me to your gatherings and to be a part of those. At almost every powwow that I went to, one of the children would come up to me, kids that I didn't even know. They were usually about 4 to 6 years old. I was in Big Grassy, and a small boy came up to me out in the arbor, and he grabbed my hand, and he wanted to show me what he was doing and what he was playing with. And one of the women from that community, she goes, "Do you know him?" And I said, "No, I don't know him." But he felt comfortable enough coming up to me and showing me what he was doing and playing with outside of the arbor. And then in Northwest Bay, another small boy that was sitting behind me on the bleachers, he came over to me and he was telling me about the lake and his swimming adventures. And these were small kids that I didn't know. And I wanted to mention this because if you listen and you pay attention to the kids, the youth, they'll engage with you and they'll tell you what they need. And they'll tell you what's important to them at that time, whether it's something they're playing with, something they just did like swimming, they'll tell you what they need. I was able to attend all of the Chiefs Committee meetings and have a better understanding by hearing your conversations and the smaller working groups that you have. I want to acknowledge our staff that do amazing work at those meetings to put all that information together so that we can discuss what needs to be talked about. In all of our meetings, chief committee meetings, one theme that was brought up in all of them was the importance of having a united voice as a nation. There are quite a few agenda items this week where this is going to help with showing the strength of our communities moving together. The other point I wanted to talk about was our women in leadership. We have quite a representation of women in leadership, and it's important that we support one another. We show our young women that how we acknowledge each other, and just leadership as a whole, that we take the time to listen to one another, and that everyone here sitting at this table, you were chosen to represent your communities and be their voice. So take the time to listen to one another, respect the voices of the communities that sit at this table, respect the work of the previous leadership and the work that has been done for our communities, and that we need to strengthen those efforts in moving forward. I look forward to a productive few days of discussion and work on behalf of our communities. Miigwetch.
Miigwetch, Igana Gabwek. I also want to invite co-chair Derek Henderson for a few comments.
Bonjour, parmi abeneshi des nikas gigon do dem sagin doji. Miigwetch kenin deket Egashtuana machibi jana man ongam Miigwetch na knoma ugi makana kaya wachugo. Chief Tom, his community should go Deputy Grand Chief. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your meeting today and tomorrow and the next day. They told me I have to keep Don Jones in line. That's why they asked me to come and sit here and work with them. So it's always an honor to be at these Chiefs' assemblies to help with the work that's done by the Chiefs. There's a lot of work in the Treaty 3 area that requires a lot of input from chiefs and committees, and we're part of that whenever we meet with them. So I'm just thankful that I can be part of that process. You know, it's a real honor to be in this community and to be able to work with everybody that's here. Thank you to our elders. Thank you to the men, the women, and also the youth that is in the audience today. It's important for them to hear the conversations that chiefs have regarding the issues in our communities, as there's plenty as we hear across the country here on Turtle Island. So again, Miigwetch, and we'll try and keep the chiefs in line as we go through the next 3 days. And also, it's been a real honor to be able to work with you all. Miigwetch.
Miigwetch. 2 minutes in the penalty box for roughing up the chair. Our theme for the Assembly, strengthening our sovereignty, building our future. Jianji mushkwendak ken gimini goes in nanen pimatisian. Awe ni mama gomay go nepik ugyan kanotan here. Yen mi en ke te nishnabe mun guyab jiton noeji. Jin sit ta going mine jin stit wegete ganog mi en ke gabi voksenum join the mag here. So the agenda includes reports, updates, and we're going to start off with the Miigwetch Awea.
Miigwetch and Miigwetch.
Miigwetch and Kanawat. And they will also be doing in honor of the late Ron Van Damen. Oshki Ninig, the Youth Executive Council, will do an update as well. Kagigito Ikoyog, the Women's Council. Mami Wichu Gabweta in Inyog, Men's Council. And Treaty 3 Police Service Executive, there'll be the OPS review and the Treaty 3 Police Services Strategic Plan by noon. After lunch, we'll do the updates from the economic chiefs, cultural chiefs, social chiefs. and environmental chiefs. So I'll call upon Kieran and Shayla to come on up. I've been informed as well that the reports and updates, try to keep them down to 15, 20 minutes. If not, I have to blow my whistle and put you in the penalty box too. Kieran, Shayla, please come on up. He was on the agenda, but the revised one.
Oh, it's a revised one.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Miziwe on a kut. I didn't get to know. Oh. Okay, before we continue, we have an elder that wants to take the floor.
Bonjour. Miigwetch, thank you. Dote.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Before you go clear, on behalf of Treaty 3 Nation, our nation, in your agenda, it says National Assembly today, before you go to your agenda. And what I don't for members of the nation to say something or to bring out their concerns or whatever they want to ask questions or something is there. I don't see anything in there in regards to members of the nation, people, the ones that are sitting behind. So I just wanted to make sure, when do we say something as members of the Treaty Nation? I don't see it here. I just want to make that clear.
Okay, the normal practice with the National Assembly is that any member can ask questions, and it's been practiced, the practice has been that they have their chief acknowledge the member to speak.
Or do we have to ask first in the assembly to say something?
That's the normal practice, but it hasn't always been followed. And so any item that you want to question,
Yeah.
any member in the assembly can question or ask questions or clarification, whichever they want.
But you have to ask your chief first, eh?
That was the practice, yes.
Well, what do you mean by practice? Is it allowed or not?
That's what they used to do, but they don't do it anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's what I want to know.
But
So
if you want to do it out of respect, you can.
Okay. That's what I didn't see here. So just to make sure, if I want to say something, then,
Yes, just raise your hand and then we'll acknowledge you. We just ask any member to introduce themselves when they want to approach the Chiefs Assembly. Okay, Kieran, Shayla, is you want to cut presentation?
Mike 2.
Go ahead, Mike.
Bonjour.
Okay, Sheila.
Sheila Gitigo. What do we do?
Sorry about that. I know my daughter is a little loud.
Dawama, nice to meet you.
So bonjour, mon équipe, Miigwetch in Washington, D.C. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. It sounds a little muffled on this end.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Kieran, if you want to introduce yourself.
Bonjour. Nija Gabo Nadishnika is a bishkling Ndonji, Tik Nandorum. Shay has the presentation online and is sending it quickly. But my name is Kieran Davis. I'm from Laxul. Yeah, thank you. Miigwetch.
Miigwetch. I beg your patience. They're trying to use technology to advance the presentation. If not, a hard copy might be available and Kieran can present. Okay, there it is. It's on.
Mr. Chair. Chair.
Yes, Chief Scott?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Just before we get started, I'm not going to be here tomorrow morning. And looking at the agenda, I notice we have at 1:30 Cows and Plows, Ryan Lake from Morris Law Firm. If we could have the indulgence of the chiefs, if we could perhaps move that to Thursday morning rather than tomorrow afternoon, because I won't be here till late tomorrow afternoon. I won't be here in the morning, so I won't be here in the morning to request that adjustment or the change in the item.
Miigwetch, any chiefs against that? Can we move it till Thursday? Okay, so there's no opposition. We'll change it till Thursday morning. Miigwetch? Okay, Shayla?
Hi, Bougie. Sorry about that. I was trying to share my screen or
I'll just read the report as it's written. Sometimes when they interpret
not able to see the screen myself, so I'll just kind of do it separate screen on mine.
like the morning ones, I never got. Oops, I better close this one.
I think it's just every committee, like you got your economic, right? And then right there, update. And then who's yours there?
Horticulture?
I have a few pictures of
Yeah.
I want to translate.
When we started, or we got elected at the roundhouse in Brampton House.
In French?
There's 4 of us, and unfortunately, 2 of us couldn't make it. And I just wanted to say Miigwetch for your patience also. There's a little bit of complication on my end.
It's not
I'm glad
necessary.
So they're all in there.
Okay, I see it now, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but he said they're in that. Okay.
The first part.
So we were elected almost 4 years ago. So we're coming up to the end of our term, and there's just hope that we can kind of network and get introduced to more people in the nation that can kind of take over, or if they're interested in the council while we our selection term. I'm not sure how that's gonna look yet, or where we're gonna have the traditional selection, but yeah, I'm hoping that we can do that before March, maybe during the winter. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if you have any input on that side, Kieran.
We can discuss that later, Shay. I'm going to continue on the next slide there. Okay, so I think it was in March of this year, we held the 2S LGBTQI plus Economic Empowerment Symposium, and this was a chance where young entrepreneurs could learn, or I guess any young peoples could learn about how to become an entrepreneur. And this was hosted by Treaty 3 in Winnipeg. So I was, I think I was co-chairing or emceeing their gala. So it was a pretty cool empowerment event. Shay, if you want to speak to this next slide.
As we all know, agree or, sorry, feel the loss like Two-Spirit people have felt across Turtle Island. And we just wanted to emphasize that there is no Two-Spirit Council without Ron, because he gifted us 2 feathers for the council and the name also. And but we were just discussing it and can show our our appreciation for the teachings that he left. Because it is sad that you know, he's still here, and I just want to emphasize that you know there's a lot of people in our nation who are in grief, and we're just trying to kind of alleviate that or figure out a way where we can come together and you know kind of share our sadness, but also our happiness. It's not all heartache. So I'm just glad that like we're gathering here. Although I'm virtual, but I still feel included, and I feel the power of our gathering and how much strength and knowledge we have as a nation. And I just hope we can show that appreciation to Ron at some point, with permission, of course, from the family and.
Thank you, Shay. I also wanted to share a little bit of Ron, and I honestly believe I wouldn't be where I would be right now without his knowledge and teachings that he shared with me. You know, growing up, you don't get taught the Two-Spirit stories. We're not in the Creator story. And he had shared stories of the Creator story with Two-Spirit teachings, and I finally felt a place that is the place for me and where I fit into community and ceremony. And so with Ron's teachings, I'm able to, you know, feel welcomed in some spaces. And I'm really thankful for everything that he did, for leading our council and putting us in a good place here. Miigwetch. So further on to our presentation here, Grand Council Treaty 3 has held trans health related workshops and information sessions. We've made recommendations to the health team. We bring in professionals or experienced folks related to healthcare issues in our territory and that directly impact transgender care. Dr. Alexa Lesperance is a good ally who's been doing some good education work in the area from now Kamagwaning. The health, I think Shay is going to speak to this slide.
Yeah, thank you. So with the support of Grand Council Treaty 3, I went up north to Ospriak and Manitoba just to, I guess, network and to see what they were about. So their theme was Wasehija Comes Home. So that is their, I guess, their trickster, and what they were doing there was changing their approach to Two-Spirit issues in the health field. Because like I said, there was a lot of like sadness and grief, but there's also a lot of what is the word, oppression to Two-Spirit and trans folks in our healthcare. And I just am trying to do my part in educating myself so I can share that knowledge. And yeah, I was able to go up north with my daughters, and they had some pretty heavy topics. Sorry. so some of their agenda items were, sorry, just gone on my page, was like harm reduction approaches, mental health and addiction. That was a big theme for why we were gathering and sharing our collective feelings. I did end up getting kind of a shout out from Gail Pruden. She was up there and she shared how empowering Grand Council or just our nation is for two-spirit dancers in the circle, and kind of put me on the spot for that. But my biggest takeaway from that was just, you know, we focus a lot on the sadness and results of genocide and like the socioeconomic issues we have, but you know, with that grief of, you know, our knowledge keepers who are going, there's opportunity to learn, and I'm hoping that like with the health knowledge that we're gaining as a council, that we can share that with the rest of the nation. I don't know if that'll look like pamphlets or maybe it will be information sessions for, you know, chief and council or like the health teams. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. Go to the next slide. So just speaking on to what I just said, like our nation is very strong when it comes to culture and like our powwowing, and you know, that's a social gathering is a very important place to make sure we belong. And I used that trip up north to create a strap dress. So it's not only just, you know, academic or the Western knowledge that we're gaining when we do these like gatherings, you know. But I just want to emphasize how important and strengthening it is, you know, like both Gary and Cheyenne both spoke to the powwowing, and you know, my family went to Miigwetch powwow this summer, and it was so nice to see this new arbor and like, you know, the community and seeing, you know, our councils being represented, whether it be Grand Chief Wichita in the Grand Entry or, you know, Cheyenne speaking and being honored. But yeah, I'm hoping that like with that in mind, we can kind of create space to find two-spirit people in our nation or queer people in our nation that can help further, I guess, creating space and giving, you know, knowledge to Grand Council or chief councils. Yeah, creating capacity for now, I guess, and gathering and hoping that like we work well within the governance structure, and you know, we get introduced to different parts of our nation that we weren't usually able to go to, whether that be virtual or in person. Next slide. So, again, one thing that we as a council want to focus on is our space in ceremony and community. You know, with the loss of people are knowledge holders, and it's not just two-spirit knowledge holders, but like any across our nation. You know, there's a loss there, we feel, and you know, there's a little bit of intimidation and imposter syndrome from ceremony or even meetings or what have you. But one of the I guess most basic thing we can do for like as organizations or you know, workers in community is just adjusting our English language. You know, a lot of it is gendered and it can be harmful depending on what it's used as. Like a lot of that comes out in our posters. You know, there's rules and regulations put on, you know, the woman body or the male body or whatever. So there's just a lack of inclusion for two-spirit people. And as cultural as we are as a nation, we still have some work to do with that. So I just wanted to put that on there.
I think I'll speak a little bit to that too as well. It could be as simple as like a welcoming men, women, like that. And it could be just simply inclusive and that feels safe for those who don't identify as man or woman. It's hard for some to feel safe when we're addressed as men and women only. And you know, changing the language for powwows is a huge thing I'm advocating for, because even when I was little, I didn't know where to dance, how to dance, and removing the gendered names on like the specials, like women's special or women's jingle special. It could just be jingle special or jingle tradition. So thank you, Shay. And that is, I believe, I don't think it's working. I believe that's it for our presentation. So Miigwetch for being patient with us. And Shay, if there's any last words you want to say.
Yeah, sorry, just to go back a slide. Well, you don't have to, but just in theory, I guess. You know, women have more roles than just like water carrying, or like men have more roles than just fire keeping. So it could be as simple as, you know, holding space for someone to explore that. You know, maybe they're a young relative who doesn't know where they belong in ceremony. They don't feel comfortable, you know, serving food or, you know, whatever other feminine role that is in ceremony. Like maybe they want to go and do a more masculine thing, like fire keeping, or, you know, it's just as simple as that. In theory, I guess, because like, you know, we all have our teachings and we all have our right to believe what we want, and you know, a lot of us were taught differently. So yeah, I just wanted to say that respectfully, not trying to give you guys heck or anything.
Miigwetch. I second that. Thank you.
Miigwetch, Karen and Shay for the Miigwetch presentation. I understand that the late Ron Indian Mandamin was mentioned in the presentation, and that was the acknowledgement they wanted to do. Carry on with the agenda. Understand that the Youth Council of Skininuk did not meet over the summer, and so my co-chair has forced me to call a break. So we'll take after the break, and kagigito ikoyog. You're on standby, so get ready right after the break. Aho, Miigwetch. Aho, Miigwetch, Ogimate Gan, for bringing us back in. Ho wag ik zo chinin dago da pachige gipinige out tige ske asag mi ye. Tani gan shkamot mine we know good thing. Away nishnabish again. So it's really great to see all the young people come and visit us and share and take a look at what our chiefs are doing, our future leaders. So it's good to see them and have them around. So we wanted to continue with the agenda. Gagigito Kuaywag, you're on. We ask again to limit your presentation to 15 minutes or so. Chief Carey.
Bonjour. Koi ni Miigwetch tagos. Miigwetch ye nditanan no na bachiganan. They wiganag. Migizi kieinan. Minong goe git ziminani gagi kagi gitoat. Kagi zunchigeot Miigwetch denag. Miigwetchin nim meji bebeji goe go gemakanag. Ajangi kit janishna bini kazwan. And no ejo tutemian. And I'm a teganing, Gijit the Guyan, Aja, ye, Gi Kitman, Tamgigagi Giton. I'm Mangi Pinanig, Oshkanishna Bensag, Conji Ot Kitchuanong, Gipi Chigunanig, Magi Pishagnong, Bibis in the Mug, Peter Shinkieg, near our Geneva Wayot, can we call Ma Bija Siug, Peter Shon Jetash Chigang, Etigon Gian. Gagwaw nanig, da binuchi menanig, chiganob and the moatish chigang, he's a sweeting, migo gaining and the chigang at the kitchen, no migo bizan, as you bear out, gego again, coming is young, down nanig a benuchi, a scanish snabig, get an snabem nanig, gay we know go benuchi, got to get to Skani Buni Anna Nigo again in the manungum skunigan. Meet the share, gay we know, or biscago now, guy jie bizing. Meet the share on jet again in end, down anik pane, bamina nanig. Goekske, nijug, ka we took in and get to yegi, a gainan kiot, nak chintano kiog gig. Away que, we know where, guizes, then no emagones away, bejig, a magayat. Meet the share near yaog, chiniboyot. At the Gonijim, our youth that have traveled here from our community. We've invited them, I invited them, extended an invite to our youth to join us here at our National Assembly today, to watch our nation undertake the work that it does in our traditional governance model and structure, and also to watch the work that we do together as a nation of chiefs sitting together. So I invited our youth to join us at our National Assembly today. And I want to acknowledge them. They're very excited to be here. I also want to acknowledge our workers. They're from our outreach program, the outreach program that we started in the last year. They've done such tremendous work in our community with our youth, with our young people, with our young adults, with older adults. They've been a major support for those struggling with mental health and addictions in our community, as well as being there for our youth. Because, you know, we're trying to be inclusive in my community, to include our youth in our governance and our work, in guiding the work that we're doing. So I want to acknowledge that they're here, and that they're listening, and that they're watching us. And we're setting an example for them. So I want them to stand up. I believe we have 12. Do we have 12? Good. Okay. All right. So those are the 12, and I've indicated to them that this is a National Assembly. And if at any point they're interested in sharing any thoughts, they're welcome to come and see me, and they can share any thoughts or concerns or whatever they need for us. So, Miigwetch. Miigwetch, Chylin, and Purnell.
Oh, Miigwetch, Agama Khan. Just on that note about the National Assembly and who can speak, there was an amendment back in May 31st, 2012, and the resolution speaks to the topic about citizens speaking, and it's in your binder, and it's for the Assembly here to hear this, that the leadership support the change in the rules of the National Assembly to support citizens of the nation to speak freely upon acknowledgement at the National Assembly. So they're free to speak on every topic that comes up. They just need to introduce themselves, where they're from. Some have, out of respect, asked their chief for time to speak, but that's up to their prerogative. But it's in the rules that the citizens here can ask and move resolutions as well. Miigwetch? So I'll ask the Kagikitu Kwayog, Women's Council, to come forward and do your presentation. Men's Council, stand by.
Okay. Bonjour. Nawe kamagok digo zungete shiken digo. Anishana beg of nang ashing nanun g. Etik dutem. I just want to acknowledge all the sacred items that are here, and the chiefs, the singers, the pipes, the drums. It really feels good to be around it. This morning when I was coming here, I was getting really emotional because I was looking at the agenda, and I saw honor late Ron Mandamin. And I actually didn't think that I'd see that for a while. For those that don't know, he was a really big advocate for us, the Women's Council. But I also belong to his lodge. So I've been dealing with a lot of grief. So I'm really grateful to the women for picking up the slack for me, because I haven't done as much as I would like to this past summer. I didn't attend as many powwows as I would love to. So I did do a report about the southern communities that I represent. And one of them is the Anishinaabe of Nangashing, Mishko Zeeman Zeebing. Sorry, Lynn. Metanjikaming, Kuchiching, and Nigagusa Minikaning. So when I do my reports, I usually do it backwards. So this is the activity. Here's the fall assembly. So we usually do our report at this time. And like I said, I haven't really been attending a lot of the meetings that I should have, and I really apologize to all of you, especially to the communities that I represent. So when I go through my my report, it's not up there, but it was supposed to be. The constituent council meeting, I missed it. It was online. unfortunately, work obligations have really taken the forefront because we do have a lot of loss in the community that I work for. So I'm very respectful of that. I was supposed to go to the midwifery conference. Unfortunately, I got sick, I got COVID. And then we had another constituent council meeting and I couldn't attend because I was still sick. I did get an invite to go to the Oakville reactor site. An invite from the TPU declined. Because as women, we are supposed to be protectors of the land and the water, and I just didn't feel that was good for me. I was invited to the Nibig gathering, but I had to decline as well because of work obligations. So this is where I thank my women again, my grief. I did, though, however, go to all the Shunya Wabitung board meetings that I was supposed to attend. So they are in the report, the review of the organizational documents, the annual general assembly that was held in Shoal Lake last week. We had board meetings in July, June, and we had the tapestry project completion in May and the spring feast in May as well, which I attended, and it felt really good for my soul to go there. So future considerations and updates from me is the meeting between the Women's Council and the Grand Council Treaty 3 leadership to address issues that were previously identified. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's only 3 of us sitting here, so that is one of the issues too that we need to address. The letters I did send a letter to the ED and the Igitchita via email. I didn't receive a reply at that time, not till later. And we've been having a little bit of a tough time to organize meeting together. But I think that's one of the priorities that's going to be coming up after this assembly. And I was really grateful to see strengthening those bonds as a theme and strengthening our sovereignty and building our future. For me, those are really important because I felt that we haven't been doing, as the Women Council, enough in our communities. So moving forward, I would love to go to each and every community that I represent to hear the issues and the concerns that are happening in those communities. And we were also supposed to have our ceremony, which Ron was going to conduct for us. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. So right now we're at a standstill, but not really either. So there we were going to get our spiritual direction and instruction and to re-bless our feathers again, to validate our commitment and our positions and accountability to the communities and to Grand Council, and to do work in a good way. So that's my update. And I do apologize again for not doing more. Miigwetch.
Bonjour. Shokyanga Tokinago, Makwando Dem, Wabguni Zakaigan, Nishna Beg and Doji. So my report is on my duties, I guess, as I sit in the east Wabanong. My report outlines the activities and discussions undertaken related to the Grand Council Treaty 3 Water Regulation Project and subsequent events that I attended during the months leading up to this fall assembly. So in early May, I had the opportunity to meet with Johan Stroop. He's a policy analyst, natural resources from the Jagima Wabu Territorial Planning Unit, and Mona Gordon, the Executive Women's Council, who represents the North in Kenora. And that primary focus of the discussion was the Grand Council Treaty 3 Water Regulation Project, during which we explored the framework for a shaking tent ceremony to guide the project's direction. We reviewed the insights shared by the Territorial Planning Unit regarding the Grand Council Treaty 3 Rainy. Namalites included the Anishinaabe understanding of Anishinaabe, Nipe, and Nakanagewin in relation to water regulation. The expectation for First Nations to engage in water regulation as sovereign nations, the impacts of fluctuating water levels on local communities, and following a presentation and engaging dialogue, it was agreed that Mona would identify individuals capable of conducting the shaking tent ceremony. Johan also provided a draft copy of the Anishinaabe Performance Indicators Report related to the Grand Council Treaty 3 Rainy Namakan Water Regulation Project through email. In the months of June and July was particularly eventful for myself personally. I graduated from Laurentian University and celebrated a significant achievement with my family during that convocation ceremony. However, I encountered health issues that led me bedridden for several weeks, preventing my attendance at various events and gatherings during the summer. So in August 15th, I participated in the Manitou Ake Nakanagewin Nibe Education Day, held in Wajashkanagam Nation at the Bingo Hall. This event was attended by representatives, Commission, Lake of the Woods Control Board, government dignitaries. The objective was to provide a comprehensive educational experience regarding Nibe and our laws under Treaty 3, alongside essential water teachings. During the event, I presented a PowerPoint titled Nibe Declaration of Treaty 3, complemented by stories and teachings about water and fostering a deeper understanding among attendees. So my report encapsulates key discussions and activities related to the Grand Council Treaty 3 Water Regulation Project and highlights my personal milestones and community engagement efforts. I look forward to continued collaboration and the positive impact of our initiatives on water regulation and education within our communities. Miigwetch.
Buju, in addition to cause ZB Equa, almost do still damn nyashing. Sorry, lost my train of thought here. I had very little involvement in any activities this year as part of the Women's Council. You know, life happens, and just been busy and doing other things. My apologies for that. I just wrote up something really quick on my flimsy paper here. I look forward to being more active. I'm hoping to find some financial resources for the Women's Council so we're able to do more activities within our nation. You know, we have a lot to work to do as Ogijidakwe for our nation as well. Yeah, I didn't really do much this year. I mean, since the fall, spring assembly. Yeah, like I said, life happens. So I'm just grateful to be here. I haven't been here in a long time. I think it's been like 10 years. I like to acknowledge the kids that came in here today. It was like really nice to see. I was outside in my car and I saw like a bunch of little kids marching with t-shirts. And I was like, holy cow, is there like a protest happening or what? I don't know. I thought it was beautiful though. So I'm happy to be here. I forgot to acknowledge the drums and the items, the chiefs, Women's Council, Two-Spirit Council. I know the Youth Council's not here, but like to include them as well, and the Men's Council. And I just wanted to say when that elder spoke up, he mentioned about, I think he didn't feel like included maybe, so I just kind of wrote a little thing here so I don't forget. I just hope our people and our elders and youth and children know they have a right and a voice to express their concerns and stories at our assemblies, and let us give them an opportunity to do so. You know, amendments and rules can be changed as well. So that's all I wanted to say. Miigwetch.
Just one more thing. I just wanted to thank the kids that came in as well. As a residential school survivor, I felt really honored. Yesterday was a hard day, and those are days that I usually spend alone. Being around so many people and feeling that pain kind of triggers me. So I usually spend that time alone, and I'll have my ceremony for those that have passed that day. But Miigwetch to the kids, you really did really good for me. And also to Melissa for sharing her story, because I know how that feels. My kids went through that too. Miigwetch.
Miigwetch, Gweok, any comments or questions from the Chief? Chief McVicker? I think it's Mike 14.
Ushu, Sigwan Indigenous Moose Totem, Anamke Washington. I want to thank you, ladies, today for giving your report. I feel not right that you don't feel that financially that you're supported. So I am going to encourage the chiefs, maybe we could think of some way to be creative to find a way, because, you know, no disrespect to any of the other councils, but our women are our traditional leaders, and you deserve to be lifted up. We'll talk about that. Miigwetch.
Thank you, Chief.
Bonjour. Bonjour, I already introduced myself, my Anishinaabe name. I also just want to acknowledge your reports, Miigwetch, Gwewag, for the work that you've undertaken. I also believe that the issues of our women in our nation are really important. They're very critical. Our women and the experiences that they have within our own communities and outside of our communities are really important matters that require our attention. They require our attention, and they require our resourcing. So I'm also in support of Chief McVicker in figuring out a way to support the Women's Council and the important work that needs to be undertaken, because your connection with our communities is really important as representatives of those, and your obligations as being part of the Women's Council for those directions and those nations that are part of those directions is really important. So, Miigwetch.
Miigwetch, Chief. We have somebody that wants to speak.
Bonjour, Nigan Kamigok Ndego. This is my my Nichikwe Isabel. Wait. I feel that I had to get up here as a founder of the Treaty 3 Women's Council. I feel it's important for me to come up here. And it was started when Treaty 3 was still 3 tribal areas. And the first executive was Ann Wilson from Fort Frances, Madeline Skeed from Kenora, and Florence Gardner from Dryden. And our first Women's Council coordinator was Isabel White. We had lots of money, because there's lots of money to grab for the operations of the Women's Council. We had so much money that the other departments were borrowing from us, but they didn't know what borrow meant. But we had lots of money. And so I am compelled to request, to beg the chiefs to support the lifting up of the Women's Council because they have a huge role in our lives, our homes, our territory. You have a lot of departments. Grab 25,000 from each of them. Hire a coordinator to start seeking the money for operational dollars. There is ways. We can't let this go unnoticed today for our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. So I stand here today to celebrate the signing of the treaty because two of my great-grandfathers, Chief McGuinness and Chief Nemapuk, signed the treaty. Treaty 3 is very important to me and to the women, to the children of our communities. There must have been a reason I had to be here today. Miigwetch.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the Women's Council. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you again. Now we ask for the Men's Council to come on up and present. After the Men's Council, we're going to break for lunch. Then we'll reconvene this afternoon.
Buju Sagateash Indigo, Baju Ndutam, Nagachanang and Noji. I'm from the Lynx clan. I'm from Northwest Bay. I'm my name is Nathaniel Counselor. I just quickly would like to have a moment of clarification that I've been absent for not quite 2 years due to something out of my control, so I apologize that I've been inactive, but I am back. I'm here to continue and accept the roles and responsibilities that I was given and nominated through the traditional selection process. And as the Men's Council, we are trying to establish within our, not only within our own lives, but within the other men, the roles and the teachers, So I kind of, we lack also financial support. I am one of two that are now active in the last couple of years. So we are having a little bit of a struggle in some stability around active members. But we are in the midst of convening a meeting to come up soon to discuss a time and a location to establish a new men's selection process so we can fill that void. Because for us, it is a struggle to only have one or two at all meetings. It is a struggle to try get anything off. So I was on the phone earlier with one of the other active members, and he sends his regards and apologies for not being here due to personal family. One of the things he wanted me to touch on was for the men, the men's mental wellness, their mental health, and how that can deeply affect and play a role on not only leading into addictions, but just struggles. As men, we do not talk. We do not speak of struggles we are going through, and I say this coming from my own history, my own story, my own background, my own upbringing, my traumas. healing in my own life. And I've had the blessing for 2 years to work in my home community as an addictions worker for the NADAP role, where I got to support, people in their addictions and help them what that looks like for them, but yet to understand and sit with them. So I'm really grateful for that experience, because today I recently started a new chapter and took on a role with an organization in Fort Francis to become a